Frank Word's Weather Words is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading newspaper. This episode of Frank Word's Weather Words is sponsored by Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton, your one-stop shop for outdoor recreational vehicles. Klinger services all recreational vehicles it sells. Stop in today to see how Klingers can help you enjoy the great outdoors in comfort and in style.
Good day to you. Since it's the start of the holiday week, we decided to change our location. We're here at Veterans Plaza in Walton. It's one of the places where the community Christmas tree is here. We've got some decorations up, and of course the flag and things dedicated to our veterans who we wouldn't be here without them. So this was a good place to actually start this whole thing. Turned out to be a very interesting week because Thursday, where I said we might break a temperature record, the sun came out, it stayed out, and believe it or not, we got to 63 degrees on Thursday. The old record was 58. We broke it by 5 degrees. The next time you'll see something like 63, if you're lucky, maybe it'll be trout season come spring, because that's an unbelievable temperature. I actually did things around outside in a short sleeve shirt. It was wonderful. And believe it or not, at 11 o'clock that night, it was still 56. But then the north wind started to blow. When you got up in the morning on Friday, it was up to 30. It was down to 37, but we got back into the mid-40s, which again was above normal. And we won't get any of that above normal because this upcoming week is going to be a little bit different. On Saturday, depending on where you were, because we were in that wonderful temperature range between 29 and 32, which really meant anything could be falling on you depending on your elevation. Most of the weather that happened at my weather station, it was rain. The top of the hill started getting a little bit fuzzy and getting a little bit white, and the top of the hills got about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. When you liquefied all of that, it turned out to be 0.29 of an inch of precipitation. Now here's the bad part about that. For the first time in 5 months, we're behind in precipitation, and we're behind by a lot. Almost 2 inches. Okay, does that mean we're going to be short? Even if we're over for the entire year anyway, doesn't make any difference. However, Mother Nature has been known sometime during December to give us one whopping snowstorm. Could that be coming? Not this week. Because this week, believe it or not, this is the coldest it's going to be, and I'm sitting here at about 16 and a half degrees. That's why I have nothing on that says The Reporter. The stuff isn't warm enough for me to put on to stand out here. Today, maybe 32. Tonight, another one that's going to be down probably low 20s. In fact, keep low 20s there for the entire week. Put daytime temperatures only in the 30s until you get to Christmas Day. If you looked at The Reporter 2 weeks ago, I said maybe a green Christmas. Well, guess what? It's going to be a green Christmas. We're going to be, during the day, maybe 41 degrees, and anything falling out of the sky might start as snow, and it's going to be another one of those mixes and then end as rain. So anything significant? Not this week. So if Mother Nature's going to get even, she'll have to get even the week after that. And it's happened before. I remember years ago when my parents were alive, we had a Christmas snowstorm where my parents came over for dinner. My mother goes, well, it's time to go home. And I looked outside and said, And she goes, why? I said, not until I shovel a big path from here to your front door, because you'll never make it. And then we had another one for New Year's. You might remember that same year. Okay, so can it happen? Yes. The other thing that's interesting, winter solstice is tomorrow, which means the days stop getting shorter. Hooray! I'm tired of it now getting dark at 4:45 and waking up and it's still dark at 7 o'clock in the morning. Will you notice much difference for the first few days? No. You know what? On the 22nd, you're going to have about 20 seconds more worth of daylight. You won't even notice it. In fact, around here, we don't really notice it till sometime into January. But It always gets better, and it's going to. So, projection for next week, I can't tell you just yet. There's lots of interesting things that could happen. What we really need is the upper jet stream to be a big low and a big dip around us to keep the cold air here. That hasn't happened yet. The good part about all this, California, Washington, and Oregon are getting all sorts of snow, rain. The Sierra Mountains are getting it. All the stuff they need, hopefully, to give them water this up and coming year. Because believe it or not, some of those reservoirs out there are just about dry. We'll talk about that in another one too. Sorry for the traffic noise, but you know, it's right here on Main Street. I'm going about as loud as I want to before they don't hear me 2 houses down. But anyway, we'll talk about the California situation in an up and coming broadcast. So please enjoy the week. It's going to be mostly clear. You might get an occasional little snow flurry from some lake effect if it actually makes it here. It's going to be an absolute nothing. Green Christmas is ahead. So that's what we have for this coming week. You'll hear from me again later this week, and have a really good week out there.
Shop Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton today.